Well guys, I never thought I'd be saying this, but the day has come. I'm selling my bike. Now, long-term viewers will know that I've always said I would never sell this bike because I love this bike and I still love this bike. And if I could keep this bike and buy another bike, that's what I would do if I was in that position, but I can't. I can only have one bike at a time. So I need to sell this bike. Let me show you over the bike, what's been done to the bike and what you're going to get for your money. Now this is a 2023 Indian Chief Dark Horse. It's done 23 odd thousand kilometres and it's got about $4,500 worth of modifications sitting on it, as you see right here. First off being this Oldboymoto custom made sissy bar. Sean from Oldboymoto made this up for me to my specifications, and what I typically do is I run a 35 litre, I think it is, dry bag on the back here, and that's just my storage, and that's how I get around. Next up we have the Saddleman step-up seat. Compared to the stock seat, I went from the stock seat to a Saddleman Renegade Solo seat, and the Renegade Solo was a lot more comfortable than the stock seat. And then I went from the Renegade Solo to the step-up seat, and the step-up is more comfortable than a Renegade Solo. So that's the seat I'm going to sell with the bike because this is the most comfortable seat. I can sit for hours on the seat. The seat's not the issue for me for riding long term. Next up we have the Mini Ape handlebars, and I'll show you how I look sitting on the bike with these handlebars. These are really comfortable for someone my height. I'm 6'1", and yeah, they are a really great addition to the motorcycle. When you do upgrade to Mini Ape handlebars, you have to replace the brake line, the clutch cable, the internal wiring for the handlebars all gets replaced, and that's all been done for genuine Indian components. So if you're looking for more of a chopper look, this bike is set up ready to go. Another option I have on the bike is the Indian 17.8-inch screen. Now when you buy the screen, these are not cheap. You also need to buy the mounting hardware, and this is a quick release screen, so you can just pop it off and pop it back on at any time. And the beauty of that is you can also fit the larger screen straight onto this bike. So if you wanted, I think it's a 24 and a 27-inch from memory. If you wanted to put those larger screens on, all the mounting hardware is there, ready to go. The other thing I've done is I've made these fork leg protectors for the Indian Chief. And these are, custom one-off. You're not going to find them anywhere else. And why that's important is these bikes, these forks, I believe really need fork leg protection. I think they should come out of the factory with fork leg protectors. I've just had the 24,000 kilometre service done. Now that's a big service. In that service they rebuild the fork legs with new seals and new bushings, so that's all been done. I have heard some people say they didn't do that when they had the 24,000 kilometre service done. I highly recommend you do, because it's made a big difference. You don't realise how the oil in the forks is degrading over time and losing its ability to its hydraulic capabilities, or its abilities. It is just reducing over time, and yeah, the ride on the front end now is so much better with the forks being completely redone. So for the 24,000 kilometre service, if you ride an Indian, definitely make sure you get that done. Now, my Chief's always been super reliable for me. It's just been so impressive. And I often tell people it's no different to owning a Japanese bike for me in terms of reliability. The only issue I've had was there was a bit too much of the dielectric grease put onto the spark plug at some point at a service, and it worked its way up to the top of the spark plug, and I lost spark to the rear cylinder and it threw an engine fault. But that was a simple fix, just take the grease off and we're back in business. So in terms of condition, reliability, yeah, this bike is A+. Now another option I've had fitted are these Reinhardt Slipons. As well as sounding fantastic, the Reinhardts really help open this bike up at highway speeds. With the stock exhaust system, I found that the bike felt like it was labouring at 100 k's an hour in 6th gear. It just felt like choked up. and I didn't like running it in 6th gear actually at highway at 100 k's an hour, so I'd run it in 5th. But after fitting the Reinhardts, this thing will pull cleanly from 100 kilometers an hour up to well over legal speeds in 6th gear, and yeah, it just breathes so much better. Now I've just paid the registration, so it's got 12 months registration on the motorcycle. It's had the 24,000 kilometer service done. Yeah, this bike is good to go. If you want to see the bike in person, I'm going to have it on the floor at Indian Motorcycle in Ballarat, so you can go down anytime, have a look, have a sit on it, and talk to Mark about the bike. I do have other bits and pieces of accessories, and like if you were to say to me, I like the bike, but I prefer forward controls, I have a new set of forward controls I can put on the bike, so you know, we can certainly mix and match a little bit if that's what you prefer. Now we'll be keeping the Bikes I Like logo on the back of the sissy bar that'll come with the bike. I think it'll be safe to say you're going to have one of the most exclusive bikes in Australia. Now the reason why I need to sell this bike is simply because my riding has changed. Where I would do 1 or 2 hour rides in the past, I'm finding now that I'm stretching out to day-long rides. And where the bike was completely fine for, you know, 1 or 2 hours at a time, or 3, maybe even 4, you know, not a problem. But a full day of riding, yeah, it's just taking a bit of a toll on me. And that's not because this is a bad bike, it's because I'm getting a lot older, my body's not what it used to be, and I see guys on the rides on bigger touring bikes, and they are doing it so much easier and more comfortable than me. And you know, this has never been a touring bike, this has always been a cruiser, and of late I have been trying to make it into more of a touring bike and trying to make it more comfortable, but then I just came to the realization that I'm wasting my time. That's not what this bike is about. It was never intended for that, and there are far better options on the market that I could be riding for touring. And people are starting to ask me what I'm buying or what I have bought, and I will say that I have put a deposit down on a new motorcycle, and I'll pick it up once I sell this one. But I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to keep it under my hat and just make it a bit of a surprise when the day comes to reveal that motorcycle. Now, will I regret selling this bike? Yeah, probably. I'm probably going to regret it. I know I am, but you know, it is what it is, and I can't have, I'm just not in a position to have more than one motorcycle financially, and so yeah, it's got to go. And the sort of riding I'm doing now is just so much longer in the saddle, and I'm getting older. And yeah, I just need more comfort, basically. So I think it's a time, I think now's the right time to do it. I'll leave links to the bike ad on bike sales, and it'll have the full rundown of what's coming with the bike, what's on the bike, and pricing and all that sort of stuff, so you can look it up there, and that'll be in the description below this video. So if you're looking for a bike that's been beautifully maintained, full service history, been trouble-free, and is perfectly set up, I believe, then you really need to check this bike out, because I think it's going to go pretty quickly.